You're watching Drakewing Gaming. Enjoy the video.
Hey guys and gals, Never here from Drakewing Gaming, and sending on Twitter the Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you another Let's Play episode of Shelter. So y'all, let's go ahead and jump right back into it, shall we? Alarm Chan, you were up, and let's go. After such an eventful morning, I welcome a break from the tavern. I'm gonna have a nice walk, and I'll see how the dogs prepare for skies ablaze. Next stop, Turret Control Tower. Early afternoon. The corridors of Shelter buzz with excitement. Despite how gigantic this place is, it's hard to find a quiet corner. Every Skies Ablaze is bigger than the last. It seems like this one is going to continue that trend. Wherever I go, I can see happy dogs walking around, the red festive decorations hanging over our heads. All that in celebration of our home. Makes me so proud to see how far we've come. I arrive at a popular intersection with a big metal statue we call a guardian. The general assumption is that it's a deity of the ancients, and that's why some of us like to pay our respects to it. It stands tall in all its metallic glory, looking over the passing dogs. It's not alone. I can already see a dog standing by it with one leg risen up. Huh? Bloody hell, someone is marking it again! Hey! Get away! Shoo! Shoo! I run at the little mutt, shouting and waving my arms. I'm pretty sure I know that guy. I've seen him doing that in the past, the other statues scattered across the different parts of Shelter. When I reach the statue myself, the stupid dog is already gone. No marking inside Shelter. Go outside or use the hecking toilet like a civilized dog. If I catch you doing that ever again, I'll cut your balls off and I will tell Rune. I huff in anger, looking at a wet spot over the statue's foot. That's just disrespectful. I thought we had come further than that as a civilization. I shake my head in disappointment and go between the statue's legs. I brush aside the big fake tail attached to it, and I look for the bucket and rag I left there before. Luckily, it's still there. The bucket is empty, and unfortunately, I don't have the time to fill it with clean water, but I can at least dry wipe the piss off for now. I get on my knees and start wiping. I'm so sorry to people from the past. So, what have you got for tonight? A couple of dogs sit and chatter by the campfire nearby. A boonhound and a lundhund. Lundhund holds a wooden stick with a sausage over the fire, while his boohund friend just lays down on the metal floor. A lot of good stuff. I went to Morzeburg and they had a fresh delivery from the south. I got some dried fruit, a few bottles of meat, a bunch of these southern sausages. They're amazing. The dogs take the sausages off the fire and brings it closer to his muzzle to sniff it. A bit of drool drips from the side of his muzzle. He wags his tail and puts the sausage back over the flames to continue roasting. Morzeburg is the closest town to Shelter, roughly half a day walking distance from here. That's the place we use for trading with the rest of the world. I haven't been there in a while, but I know that that's been rapidly growing due to our activity at Shelter. Apparently a lot of people come to trade or live in Morzeburg now. When I first came here, this part of the country was considered a frozen shithole, but it's now a frontier for all those looking for wealth and excitement. Who would have thought? The south, huh? It must be nice there this time of year. Sometimes I miss the warmth, you know? Ugh. Huh? But it's warm here. Yeah, but only inside Shelter. You know what I mean. I miss the warmth of the sun, the greenery of the forests and meadows. Here we only have the choice between the warm and safe Shelter or the ever-cold outside. I miss nature sometimes. You want to go south? Huh? What? No, never. That's not what I meant. Shelter's our home now. I'm not going to leave you here on your own. His friend wagged his tail. Okay. It looked like he was deep in thought. You know, from the... Buri from the tavern uses fresh ingredients in his cooking. That means that there must be a way to grow plants here. Oh yeah, now that you mention it, that's true. So, if Shelter can provide so many things for us, I wouldn't be surprised if they found a way to add some greenery around here someday too. That would be wonderful. Could you imagine all the trees to mark? And real grass to nap on? They keep discovering new things every day, so I'm sure something like that may be possible too. Aw, now both of them wag. I feel a bit sorry knowing that they probably won't be possible. We have a greenhouse, but that's the only place that supports vegetation here. But who knows, a part of living in Shelter is constant discovery of the unexpected. Shelter is a place of so many blessings, isn't it? Yeah, no greater blessing than the warmth. We take it for granted here, but I always get a renewed appreciation for it every time I freeze my butt outside. True. Seriously though, how is that even possible? How much wood would it take to keep something so huge warm at all times? This place is bigger than any castle I've seen, but it's as warm and cozy as a little cabin in the woods. No, the shelter doesn't burn wood. Huh? Then what does it do? Do you know? The loonhund dog nods while staring at the bright burning wood of the campfire. When you first came here, do you remember feeling sick and weak? I do. But what was that about? All that people told me was that eventually it would pass. And it did. I forgot that it was ever a thing. You don't dabble in magic, so I'm not surprised you didn't notice. But everyone who does knows that shelter constantly siphons mana out of the air. This is how this place stays warm. Huh? It's pretty much like the relics we found around here. It burns mana. It fuels its mechanisms. Except for shelter. Everyone here is a source of mana. Oh, one second now. That's a pretty accurate explanation. I'm surprised that there are still dogs who live here but don't know that. No way. That's the first time I hear about this. Don't worry, it's not as bad as it sounds. Once you get used to it, it doesn't hurt you. When a newcomer arrives at shelter, his body isn't used to this environment and he gets sick. But over time, the body learns to limit the amount of mana it releases, and at that point, you're safe. I see. The loonhund takes the sausage away from the heat again and brings it close to his mouth. He alternates between blowing at it and gulping it in hunger. The sausage looks thick, delicious, and perfectly roasted. A drop of fat drips down the wooden stick. Alrighty. Does that make you feel uncomfortable? The whole mana siphoning thing. The Boohun dog sighs and looks at the giant statue while scratching his head. No, not really. I never even knew that that was the case, and it didn't hurt me. It doesn't hurt anyone, and yet it blesses us with a comfortable life here. It's a pretty good deal. You know, it even makes me proud that I contribute to that. All that mana would otherwise go to waste, instead brings warmth to every canine here. And that's exactly what Skies Ablaze is about. We celebrate our contribution to the pack, to shelter. The loonhund finishes blowing at his sausage. He leans towards his friend and offers it to him. Here, this one's for you. What? You didn't even take a bite? I wasn't roasting it for myself, I'm saving them for tonight. But I really wanted you to try one now, they're so good. Aww. Are you sure you don't want it? Yeah, don't worry, I'm not even that hungry right now. He smiles, and the moment he does, half a cup worth of drool escapes from the corners of his mouth. He tries to cover it with his knee. The loonhund doesn't even break eye contact, he just waits for his boohun bud to take the roasted sausage offered to him. You idiot. The boohun takes the roasted sausage off the stick and loonhund wags his tail. The dog breaks the sausage in half in his hands. Catch! He tosses one half of the sausage up in the air, and like driven by instinct, the loonhund lunges forward and catches it in his maw. The loonhund blinks in confusion and sits back down, embarrassed. His mouth is full of sausage. Come on, chew it. It's so obvious you're hungry. Bud, And don't you try pulling that selflessness crap on me. I hate that. You really think I could enjoy this sausage knowing that my friend is starving for one too? No, I couldn't. There's no point in Skies Ablaze to me if we don't have fun equally, both of us. So, come on, if you want me to take a bite, you have to take one too. Otherwise, if you choose to starve yourself, then I would rather starve together with you than be the only one eating. He smiles and wags his tail. Then he finally takes a bite of the sausage himself. He's such a good friend. Damn! This really is delicious. The best sausage I've ever had, no joke. Right? I changed my mind. Give me the other half too. Spit it out. The loonhund swallows his chewed half in a hurry and sticks out his tongue at his friend. Too late. You have to wait for the evening now. That was just a sample. Aw, you tease. Both the dogs laugh and wag their tails. They continue talking about some random things, but I can't hear them anymore because another loud group of dogs marches through the corridor. It's very uplifting to see the dogs being so happy and excited today. Watching new friendships blooming is so nice. Looks like there's a custom of sharing little gifts between the dogs on Skies Ablaze now. Teak had a bunch of them for everyone earlier. I wonder if I had anything to give Burry. If I had anything to give Burry, what would that be? Is there anything that I myself would want? Anyway, I finished wiping the foot of the metal guardian and throw the soaked rag back into the bucket. I should do it for now. It looks dry enough to me, but I probably only needed the stupid mutt spread the mark further around the foot. I'm gonna come back here later to clean it properly. I stand up and look at the blank face of the giant guardian. It's like the dogs made him a pair of fake ears this month, too. Thank you for letting us stay at your home. Please keep us safe, and I will continue to care for shelter in your place. I like the Guardians. To me, they're like the closest link between us and the ancients we have. Speaking or even looking at them always fills me with that feeling of indescribable awe. I put my hand on the giant's cold, smooth shin and smile. But I take it off in a hurry when I remember that my hand is still dirty with piss. Sorry. I'll come back later and give you a proper wash. I know for sure that a one by one solution of water and white vinegar works great against dog piss. I have to hurry to the turret control tower for now. Please grant me success tonight. I dive between the Guardian's legs again and hide the bucket back in the corner. Then I hurry towards the turret's control room. I catch a quick glance at the boo hun and the loon hun by the campfire. They munch on some dried fruit now. Looks like they fill their stomachs with that in their wait for the evening feasts. Hang in there, buds, just a little longer. Your sausage time is coming soon. We don't really know how shelter works. All the knowledge we have is just the tip of the iceberg. Barely enough to keep it running. Every day is a struggle against everything that we still don't understand, and the only way for us to learn is by trial and error. It was easier when there was just a few of us. Now any failure means putting in danger hundreds of dogs living here. We have to be careful and diligent. We learned about shelter's function to siphon and burn mana ever since the very first time me and Burry came here. That was how we were able to open the doors and explore the inside. At that time, barely anything was in working order. For the first year or so, we didn't even know that it had its own heating system. We kept campfires for warmth. Eventually, we got many of the new systems running again. The heating, lights, ventilation, water pumps, and filters. This place is all that and so much more, like a complex organism. At first, there weren't enough of us to provide all the energy we needed. That changed as more and more people came here. The more of us settled in shelter, the warmer it got. Not only that, but it also kept us safe and invisible to the monsters. Mana attracts monsters. Bigger gatherings of people are always at more risk of being the targets of regular monster attacks, so by all means we should be in danger too. However, as long as shelter works, it traps any mana produced inside of it and it doesn't allow any of that to spread across the Frostlands for monsters to pick up. Lets us live here peacefully. For as weird as shelter is, in some ways it's the safest place in the world. Unfortunately, our growing population eventually became an issue. We reached the point where we produced more mana than Shelter could utilize at the time. It caused it to shut down. I'm certain that Shelter was built to host many, many more people than we had at the time. Even the number of dogs we have today is insignificant compared to the size of this whole place. There's definitely an important element of the system that I'm missing or have aligned wrong. By design, Shelter should sustain its work in conditions like these, not shut down. But as I said, we don't really know how Shelter works. When we turned Shelter back on again, we tried to find workarounds. We turned on all the systems we found in working order, even when they weren't needed. Anything to burn more mana. Even that wasn't enough. More people came, and one day another shutdown happened. It was disheartening. We started to consider limiting the number of dogs in Shelter to keep it sustainable. I didn't like that. Nobody did. It was against our philosophy. And when we were at our wits' end and ready to give in, the ancients blessed us with an unexpected gift. I finally reached my destination, a room cluttered with screens and cables. Looks exactly like I left it. Nobody comes here but me. It's way too dangerous to be left to let any of the dogs touch any buttons here. Alright, I'm actually going to pause it right there. I am tired, y'all. Alright, thank y'all so much for watching. I love you all, and I shall see you on the next video. Bye-bye!